A second video? What? No, but seriously, we're going to go ahead and talk about some stuff today. Let's talk about the inaccuracies of this gaming community when it comes to calling out stuff against developers and publishers. There are a few things that have always kind of stuck out to me that have kind of, made me scratch my head and wonder, why is it okay for this company to do this, but it's not okay for, say, EA or any other business that deals with our favored and beloved industry? And how come they're not allowed to get away with these things, right? And what am I going to be talking about? Ark, Survival Evolved, and Atlas. You guys, if we're going to sit here and have legislation dictate loot boxes as gambling, or a form of gambling, which I do agree with. If it's a form of gambling, that's one thing. But if it's just straight up gambling, I can't really agree with that. But since it is a form of gambling, I understand where they're coming from. But my question to you is, if gambling in loot boxes is so bad, then what is Ark Evolved? A Kickstarter program that just blew up, became pretty successful, made a lot of money. And then before it was even released, they launched a standalone for almost full price. Yeah, there was a little outrage, but there wasn't a lot. There wasn't nowhere near enough that should have been. But yet we give companies like EA, we give Blizzard Activision, we give all these other companies that deal with loot boxes a hard time, almost to the point where their stocks are going into the dirt. But we let things like Atlas go. We let things like Ark Survive Evolved go. Why is that? You guys ever ask yourselves, are we really being fair across the board at 100%? Are we really just being people who are concerned about our industry? This is something that is I've always kind of wondered about, because I don't see the discrepancies being tackled evenly. You look at EA and you would think someone got killed over there based on how this community reacted to some of their stuff in this last couple of months. And they've had a pretty bad beginning of the year. I'm not going to lie. Granted, their mouth isn't helping, okay? I understand that. I get that. But they're not the ones promising an early access situation with a Kickstarter program, making tons of cash, right? And not even fixing their games. They're not, seriously, Studio Wildcard has not fixed their damn game. Their games run like hot garbage. Seriously. We're going to sit here and tell EA that they can't have loot boxes in their games, that they can't do this and they can't do that. So much to the point that their stocks are fallen. They've fallen. And they're kind of riding Apex Legends in hopes that it will bring them out of the funk. And it looks like it might. And Apex Legends is actually really good if you guys haven't played it. And I know it's been everybody's, I know it's been hyped to literal hell and back, but it is really good. In fact, that's like the only BR game that I really, really enjoy. But one can't help but wonder, are we as a gaming community, should we even be giving criticisms anymore? The reason why I ask that is because it doesn't seem like we're really fair across the board. We don't look at things with a critical eye anymore. Over the years, I've watched YouTuber after YouTuber after YouTuber do these videos, these outrage videos, these they're so angry and, oh, God, Blizzard, you're so terrible, But is Diablo Mobile really the worst thing on the planet? Or is that just we're allowing our own wants to get ahead of ourselves? You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? The reason why I say that is because I wanted a PC new Diablo. Okay, no, if anybody wanted a new PC Diablo, it was definitely me. All right, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge, huge Blizzard fanboy. Like I love Blizzard and their titles. Okay, they helped me through the roughest times of my life when I was a kid growing up in Adelanto, California. That is where I first discovered StarCraft. That is where I first discovered Warhammer. And those games, Warhammer, did I say Warhammer? Warcraft, those games really helped me out in a tough time, okay? They helped me escape my woes of life. They helped me escape the clutches of a terrible situation. And Diablo 2 and Diablo 1, man, oh, like those I will always remember. But that's why I'm asking you guys. How is it that we allow a company like Studio Wildcard and Grapeshot Games do what they do and not say a word? Like, yeah, Steam is like the only really bad review place that people are actually being outraged about. And rightfully so. Like, I agree with these reviews. All right? I have Ark. I bought it when it was like $5 a long ass time ago. And I played it, and it was hot garbage, okay? It was a terrible experience. And everybody was telling me, it's going to be okay, Brimstone. This is going to be like the whole Minecraft situation, you know? It was just a bad, it was a bad launch. It was terrible at first, but they're going to iron everything out. I'm like, okay, cool. All these years later, I am still waiting for them to iron these things out. I think we need to be more focused on everything when it comes to our industry than what we personally like. If we're going to have outrage of one thing, we should have outrage on another. In other words, we don't get to just, tunnel things through, right? And what I mean by that is focus on one situation or one company. We need to look at this as a broader scope of things, right? When I did this YouTube thing years ago, I tried to tell you guys, and I know some of you will remember, some of you won't. It's fine. I said that with these free-to-play MMOs, with the amount of money that they're making, they are going to do this microtransaction business in our console games. I said that. I called it years ago. And I also called shit out about the outrage stuff too, though. Like, I sat there and I told people, like, you guys are not going to hold that same candle of criticism to everybody. You're only going to go after companies that you dislike. You're not going to go after companies that you actually like. And I have been 100% about that. I have called this stuff out. I saw this stuff, all the stuff that you guys are going through right now. Me, Infinite Retro, Truth Be Told Show, Seventh Level, like all of us older YouTubers, we called this shit out almost a decade ago. And it just seems like nobody is really willing to call this stuff out anymore. We all just kind of roll with the punches. We'll just go ahead and agree with what this person says and just kind of jump on the bandwagon of hate towards this evil corporation EA, this evil corporation Blizzard Activision. But we're going to give companies like Studio Wildcard a green light. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and do your shit. You know what I mean? We're going to give companies like Treon Worlds, which used to be a premium free-to-play MMO publisher. They used to be like against the grain of pay to win. They were really good at one point. And then they fucking, I don't know what they were doing. They fell off. They went from being the most consumer-friendly company to being the most anti-consumer company in less than a year. And they just fell off. They literally got bought out. People lost their jobs. And their assets have got taken over by Gamingo or whatever they're called. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, these companies weren't always bad, right? EA hasn't always been the bad guy. Blizzard Activision hasn't always been the bad guy. I think we need to reevaluate ourselves as gamers to figure out what battles are worth fighting and what aren't. I think if we're going to have outrage, we should look at things through a lens of equality, not just things that we like and if we don't find us, dishonest. I personally like a lot of the games I have with EA and Blizzard Activision. I am upset with what Blizzard Activision has been doing with their games, and EA seems like they're trying to really dig themselves out. And in order to do that, they need to keep making quality games like Apex Legends. They need to focus on the consumer, not the shareholders. And the same can be said about the whole CFO bullshit that happened over at Blizzard Activision, where all of a sudden everybody was making money, everybody was doing good, and then we're going to give millions of dollars to a new CFO and lay off a ton of people and do away with the esports on some of their major titles. I don't know, man. This has been a rough for gaming. This has been a pretty rough year. Honestly, this has been a pretty rough year. So sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go and play some games. Yeah, that sounds good. Let me know what you guys think about this ring light. Is it too bright? Does it blow me out too much? Who knows?